All right. Hey, everybody. Steve Joyner here. I don't know if you've heard of me or not, but I just recently got my first book published called Bitcheye Commando. And there it is. I did not design the cover. And this is actually for a lot of people out here who've probably wondered about writing a book. And writing a book takes 3 phases. Phase 1 is when you start talking about writing a book and everybody tells you you can't do it because you're no good and you've never been published before. Well, to all those guys out there, don't listen to them. If you want to write a book, go ahead and write it. Don't ask for a lot of input. Phase 2 is when you are writing the book and people think that you're wasting your time. Well, just keep plugging along and don't try and write in chronological order. You'll never get it that way. Just write the ideas, worry about organization later. Phase 3 is when you get it written and it's completed, and then you find out that everybody is an expert, a literary expert. The lady at Kroger is the literary expert, and for $100, she will edit your book for you as long as you give her a complete copy. Forget it. Let me tell you something about writing a book. Me personally, I don't pay anybody to read my book. If you want to read it, well, you're going to have to buy the book. I'm not going to pay you to read it. If you don't want to read it, you don't want to read it. I'm not going to force you. Okay, after you get it completed, do not send it to a publisher until after you get a copyright. That's right, copyright it first, then worry about the publishers. Now, you could waste another $30 and buy what's called the writer's market, where you can read a lot of things about books and publishing and information that's no good. Here's what you ought to do. Contact a lot of publishers, send them chapter 1. Send them the first chapter, see what kind of feedback you get. Now, they ought to be able to tell from chapter 1 whether or not they are willing to publish the book. And realize they're going to have to pay you up front. That's the way you publish. I'm not in the business of paying people to publish my book. They have to pay me. And that's just one of my hard, fast rules. Well, what I did is I sent it out to a lot of publishers, got a lot of rejections. But then, Publish America decided that they wanted to see the rest of the book. Fair enough, they got it. So here it is, Bitcheye Commando. It is a fictitious novel, though a lot of people tell me otherwise. So it's got a lot of information in it and a lot of coincidences. And there's other people that I have nearby. Well, for example, we have Sean Crossfield Joyner, who is in the book. That's right. Sean Crossfield is on the back, and he's also in the book. Crossfield is his middle name, named after Scott Crossfield. Sean, are you nearby? Come on in. Come on in. You know, what's up?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I see you.
I see you finally finished writing it.
Yeah, sure did.
And I'm pretty impressed about that. But I'm actually here to ask you questions.
Okay.
And which that is how long did it take you to write a book?
It took me about 2 years. I started writing it in Iraq because I wanted to do something with my mind besides think of unpleasant thoughts. Besides, old GW back in the White House in those days said, think pleasant, happy thoughts. So I did, and I got my mind elsewhere. Okay.
And also, I got another question for you.
Okay.
Why did you choose, this story as in taking place in Korea or at that time?
I chose it because I had a lot of knowledge about these areas. Even though the book is fictitious, I decided to write about something I knew something about. And this area, especially Korea, there was a lot of knowledge there, but a lot of things happen in Korea that people don't know about. So that's why I chose Korea, I guess.
And maybe I think I have one more question is why, some people, who you know or who you hear from, like, why do they say it's actually a hard reading?
Yes, that's been one of the critiques that I've been receiving, is that it is considered a very hard read. Not a beginner book, not something Dr. Seuss would come up with. I think a lot of it is because it's about the military. However, I have provided a lot of introductions to get your mind focused in the right way, the right direction, so that it prepares you to read the book. Now remember this, I'm going to go off on tangents, but I'm going to take you back to the story. Don't worry about the tangents, just stay on for the ride, And don't try to read too much into it. And if you don't have the military background, which is okay, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you should definitely read all the introductions. And I think it's a hard read without the introductions, but I've been getting a lot of criticism about the book being a hard read, but not necessarily a bad read. And, okay, anything else, Sean?
Well, actually, yeah, I mean, I'm actually impressed. I actually have been waiting till this come out, and finally, I'm excited. I just got it. Actually, by the way, I just got it today.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to start reading it. Can't wait to, start on it. Maybe I'll start reading at work or whatever, That, it's actually feels awkward, but in a good way that, I'm actually in a book, and now you're actually an author, and, which I am really proud of.
Okay.
And yes, yeah, sooner or later, pretty sure I'll start reading.
All right.
Onto it.
Remember, that's not your copy. That's somebody else's. All right. And then we got somebody else who's also here with us today. He's not in the book, but I'm glad he's around. And it's my old friend Damien. I haven't seen him in how many years? 25 years. Last time I saw him, he wasn't even full grown. Yeah, he was. But it's good to see you again.
Always.
And well, Damien, what do you think? I mean,
I think it's impressive you wrote a book, and it's nice to see more military books out there. I served 5 years in the Air Force, and to me, I kind of can relate to some of these things. And I've got my own funny stories as well. You always were the comedian, as I recall. So, a couple questions, of course.
sure.
What was your favorite story in the book? We all have our favorite stories when we served in the military. I'm sure you've got yours.
Gee, I don't know. Haven't thought about that one. First question you're asking is a difficult one. I don't even know the answer to. I don't know if I have a favorite. No, there is a favorite. It's where Swackhammer tries to kill Tackard. And where Tackard is in command, but he doesn't enjoy his adventure. He's got too much responsibility to enjoy his position. And I think that was the favorite.
Oh, definitely. Well, we've all had our favorite stories, like you said. And, the next one is kind of hits a little more closer to home. When I was in the Air Force, I happened to stumble upon this picture. I noticed that in the book this isn't mentioned. I'm curious as to if you would mind telling the story behind this particular picture they kept up at the communications squadron while I was in the service.
Okay.
They pretty much told us, hey, this is not what you want to do when you're in a combat location.
Guys, that is me. That is me. War at the ready, what not to do. This was actually during my second tour, I believe it was. And somebody really hated my guts. I did have to pay a fine for this. It was about $7,000. I had to pay a $7,000 fine for this. And for the record, guys, that was the first time in 4 months I played one game of solitaire. One game in 4 months. And I was actually medevac shortly after this was taken. So, but that's another story, but I won't tell it right now.
Of course.
And anyway, I didn't mention it because Tackard was fictitious. And this is not so fictitious.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, I don't know who took that picture, but it's somebody that obviously didn't like me.
Oh, you get that all the time in the military, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no, the other thing I have to say is, I'm interested in reading some of the things and see how much of it jogs my memory from Hawaii when.
Oh yeah.
All those years ago.
Yeah, because Hawaii is mentioned too, even though it's based in Korea. There is some Hawaii in there. Yeah.
That's where we met in Hawaii, so
Yeah.
that's more exciting for me to read, to go say, hey, what brought you to the Big Island or wherever we were in Hawaii at the time.
Yeah, I think we were on Oahu, weren't we?
Right.
The crowded island.
The crowded island.
Yeah. 101% population in those days.
Yes.
Back in the 80s. So anyway, guys, whether you're military or not military, Bitcheye Commando, I think you're going to find it a little bit educational, maybe a little controversial. I enjoyed writing it, and I hope you enjoy reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it, and I think I'm going to close for now, but any comments, just post them on my Facebook or YouTube or however it's going to work. I haven't figured that part out yet, but oh, my name, Steve Joyner. Oh, I think my Facebook name is Steve Joyner. And MySpace. I don't use MySpace anymore. But there is a Bitcheye Commando under MySpace, but I never use that anymore. I've been going with Facebook, which is why I'm in this room right now, is because of Facebook. But anyway, for those of you who have been in Iraq, you'll recognize that bracelet. Okay, guys, I appreciate you, and hope to hear your comments. I look forward to it.